welcome back. It's good to see you. Today we're going to be on lesson 2 of the 20 lessons on guitar fundamentals. All the stuff you need to know how to play. All right. Of course, it's not everything you need to know, but it's a plethora of knowledge of all the basic fundamentals. All right. So today we're going to talk about how to tune your guitar, and we're going to use one of these today. This one is the Barkusberry Soulmate. I've had this for quite a long time. I don't even remember where I got it. There's many different companies that sell these. And what we're going to do, this one just clips on the end. There's ones that plug into your guitar. Huge variety of stuff. But what we're going to do is talk about how to tune your guitar so you know how to tune it. All right. Let's start off. You've got 6 strings on your average guitar. They're really big ones, down the little ones. All right, and you're going to want to remember the names of these strings. This is fundamental. A lot of people don't want to learn it. It's imperative you learn these because it's going to help you when it's time to build chords and scales. Knowing the names of these strings is the first step to learning the notes on this mysterious neck, okay? So your first one's an E. That's an E note. That's an E string. Next one's an A. Next one's a D. Next one's a G. Then a B. And then another E. This is the high E. This is the low E. They're both E's. Okay, they're both an E note. And how I learned this, there's different abbreviations for them to learn them, but I learned them as E, A, D, G, B, E, and that's elephants and dogs grow big ears. And that's how I learned to memorize the name of those. It's kind of a nice visual. Like I said, elephants and dogs grow big ears. And that'll help you remember the names of these strings so then you can start building chords and scales. All right, let's talk about tuning. So you've got your guitar, you strum it, and it sounds... It doesn't sound great, okay? Let's find out why. This first string is an E, that low E. You're going to have your tuner, whether it's plugged in or this kind that shows on the head, and you're going to pluck it. And it's going to give you, mine will say, like on here it says an E, and then it's got a needle that swings back and forth from minus to positive, which is under the E or over the E as you're tuning it, like flat or sharp in music terms. All right, so right now, if you loosen the string, you make it less taut, it's going to go flat. It's going to go down. It's going to drop in tone. If you go tighten it, it's going to tighten that string up. It's going to bring it up higher, okay? And so you're going to want to adjust it until that needle's perfectly centered. Some will have green and red lights. Mine has just a needle that lands dead center on the little triangle at 0 for an E. And what I'm doing, I like to tune mine a little differently. You can just hit it open and get it there until it's perfect on that E. I like to do what's called a harmonic on the 12th fret. That's down the road. You don't have to worry about that now, but it gets a little more precise. I like that. But you can just open E until you get it on there. All right, so that one's nice. I'm on the E. The A, that's the one I turned down to make it out of tune. I've got a G sharp right now. Now, it's a good idea to learn a little bit of theory when you're tuning guitar. Not major theory, but you've got in music, you have notes that go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, and that's it. Those are the letters of the alphabet. And then each one of those can be flat or sharp. Except between B and C and E and F. There's no flat or sharp between those. If you're to look at a piano, which is a great example, all the white keys are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's no sharps or flats. The black keys are sharps and flats. And if you were to look between B and C and E and F, there's no black key on a piano. Same on the guitar. Okay? So if you hit that note and it's a G sharp, the notes go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then they repeat A, B, C, D, F, G. It just repeats in that order. So if you have a G sharp, the next one would be, after G would be A. So we're below the A. We need to go up to that A. tighten my string up to bring it up. Okay, and then your next string is a D. And mine's good, but if it was at a C or a C sharp, you would want to bring it up to the D, because D is above C. If it was a D sharp or an E, you would want to bring it down, so you loosen it and bring it back down to the D. Like I said, it's imperative you learn the notes A, B, C, D, F, G. If you were learning like elementary school, the scale, every good boy does fine, and that face F-A-C-E up the music scale. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. It just keeps repeating. But you got to know which way to go, so whether you're going to tighten it up or loosen it up to bring it up or down. All right? And then you would have a G. So if you have a G, or if it's showing up as like an F or an F sharp, you got to tighten it. You got to turn that tuning to bring it back up to a G. All right? And if it was an A, you'd bring it down. You'd loosen it. Now, the thing I see a lot of guitarists do is they go through, they tune it. Each one looks good on here. They start with a low E, and then they work their way up, and they get that last one. And it's like, okay, I'm good. Thing is, when you're tightening these strings or loosening them, you're moving this neck. This neck is actually going to go, the tighter the strings are, it wants to pull the neck up. The looser, it wants to relax it back, which then changes your other strings. So it's a good idea as you tune a guitar, after you've gone through, let's go through it again. And check each string again, and then readjust, and then a third time. I like to do it 3 times before I start playing. This way I know temperature, changing the strings you're pulling on the neck. I feel like I just run through it once. All right, I'm good, and I'll play. And it sounds a little off, because as they've tightened the rest of the strings, it's caused the other ones to become more relaxed, because they're not holding as much tension. Just a little tip: when you're tuning, go through it 2-3 times, just to make sure everything's good. That's what I like to do, especially before a show or anything. And then after every other song, sometimes when I'm playing live, I just re-click my tuner on, check it quick, go through it in between the songs to make sure I'm good. Because as you're playing, as you're bending strings, all that's going to change tension. They're going to stretch and pull, and they're going to change. So you got to constantly readjust them depending on your guitar. I've got one that I never have to really do much with, but I still check it, make sure in case there's a little one out. You bend a string a little too hard and it pulls on the tuning head, or the string stretches a little because they're newer. You kind of have to go back and recheck them and stuff. So, all right, so E, A, D, G, B, E. Those are the names. Elephants and dogs grow big ears. All right, and if you're trying to get to the note, like I said, you're trying to tune an A string, you got to think about where A is. If it's showing up on your tuner as a G or an F, you got to bring it up. All right, because A is after G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G, and just lay it out in that order. Okay? So, and then like I said, if you're tuning a D string and it's an F, D, E, F, F is higher, you got to bring it back down to the D. You got to loosen it. So tightening them up brings the note up to scale. Loosening the string relieves tension, brings it down. Okay? And that's the basics of tuning guitar. So you're on E, A, D, G, B, E, elephants and dogs grow big ears, and then you'll have a nice clean sound when you're playing your chords. Now, if you have a guitar and you've tuned it and you know it's perfect, and then you start playing higher up, and it sounds out of tune, you could have a problem with action. That's how high your strings are off the neck, like how high they're up or down. Intonation, the length of the string. On electrics, they're adjustable. You can change to sharpen it or flatten it by moving it, making the string longer or shorter at the bridge. Those are more advanced. I'm not going to get into that today, but so if you got your guitar tuned and you're playing certain chords higher up, the further up you go and the more out of tune it sounds, you've got an action or an intonation problem you really need to get looked at. Get it to a professional, have them take a look at it. So, all right, I hope this was helpful. I will see you next time.